Hello and welcome as we're at President McKinley's Memorial in Canton, Ohio. And look at all these steps. I don't know if I'm going to walk all that, but we can give it a shot. Um, and there is the Presidential Library and Museum. Now, that is not an official presidential library, and I'll explain that in a little bit. All right, let's get to, oh Lord, let's get to walking. And then the museum, and that's what you'll face. Then you got this statue of President McKinley. I don't know if you can read that. If you want to pause this, you can. And that's him. Alright, let's get this stepping. Oh boy. This is you're going to hear me out of breath. So, I really need to clean that up. That's on the back side of the statue right there. Finally made it to the top. As you can hear, I'm out of breath. But this is at the top. Again, if you want to read through all that, you can pause it. And then that's the look. And I think there was a lake down there, right in the middle. Beautiful up here. Very beautiful. That's the memorial. Let's take a walk. There is something that I want to show you when I get back down. Show you that side. More steps. Look at that on the back side. What? You can drive up here? I don't see no cars though. They must have it blocked off. Wherever. This is pretty amazing. This thing is huge. And this thing goes around forever. There's a little cemetery back there. Your spotlights for it for at nighttime. Hey, more steps. I don't think they go nowhere. That's pretty cool. Bushes going around. There's the museum. And the flagpole. And something about the McKinley National Memorial. pictures right there. It says thousands of loving hands have joined to bring the little family together in this beautiful temple. William R. Day, September 30th, 1907. So he lived from 1843 to 1901 as the 25th President of the United States. His career saw him rise from a private in the Civil War to the highest office, leading the nation into a new era of global power. In his early life and military service, he was born in 1843 in Niles, Ohio. McKinley was the seventh of 9 children in a family of English and Scots-Irish descent involved in the iron making business. His family moved to Poland, Ohio for better schooling, where he developed an interest in debate and public speaking. He briefly attended Allegheny College before illness and family financial hardship forced him to return home and work as a postal clerk and school teacher. Military service. 18, he enlisted as a private in the 23rd Ohio Volunteer Infantry when the Civil War broke out. He served with distinction, demonstrating bravery in battles like Antietam, I think that's what it's called, Antietam, where he risked his life to deliver supplies. Demonstrating bravery in battles like Antietam, where he risked his life to deliver supplies to the front lines. He rose through the ranks and was mustered out at the end of the war, 1865, as a brevet major. Uh, so after the war, McKinley studied law, was admitted to the bar in 1867, opened law practices in Canton, Ohio. In 1871, he married Ida Saxton, the daughter of a prominent local banker. Their 2 daughters died in childhood, which caused Ida to suffer from chronic depression and epilepsy for the rest of her life. McKinley remained a devoted and attentive husband, a quality that earned him public admiration. His political career, with the support of powerful local connections, including future President Rutherford B. Hayes, his former commanding officer, industrial Mark Hanna. McKinley built a political career. He was elected to the House of Representatives in 1876, serving 14 years. With support of powerful local connections, including future President Rutherford B. Hayes, his former commanding officer in the Army, an industrialist, Mark Hanna, McKinley built a political career. He was elected to the House of Representatives in 1876, serving 14 years and becoming the Republican Party's leading expert on protective tariffs. After losing his House seat in 1890, he was elected governor of Ohio, serving 2 terms. In 1896, amid national economic depression, McKinley secured the Republican presidential nomination with Mark Hanna's extensive fundraising and organizational support. He ran a front porch campaign from his home in Canton, advocating for the gold standard and high tariffs to restore prosperity. He decisively defeated his Democratic rival, William Jennings Bryan, in becoming the 25th U.S. president. His presidency's greatest accomplishment is widely considered to be leading the United States to a swift and decisive victory in Spanish-American War of 1898. This splendid little war and the subsequent Treaty of Paris resulted in the United States acquiring Puerto Rico and Guam and the Philippines, effectively establishing America as a global power on the world stage. The biggest controversy he ever had, the acquisition of these overseas territories triggered significant controversy over American imperialism. A large anti imperialist movement opposed the annexation of the Philippines, arguing it was a deviation from American ideals and that the inhabitants did not consent to U.S. rule. This led to the bloody Philippine American War, which lasted until 1902 and resulted in the deaths of thousands of soldiers and civilians. Another key controversy was handling a race relations domestically, as he did little to stop the rise of Jim Crow laws and anti black violence in the South to maintain Southern white political support. 6 months into his second term, on September 6, 1901, President McKinley was shot twice in the abdomen by Leon Ziegel something, an anarchist, while shaking hands with a crowd at the Pan American Exposition in Buffalo, New York. Although doctors initially believed he would recover, an infection, gangrene, developed around the bullet wound, and he died 8 days later on September 14, 1901. He was succeeded by Vice President Theodore Roosevelt. The William McKinley Presidential Library and Museum is not an official presidential museum run by the U.S. government because it operates as a private non-profit organization, not part of the Federal National Archives and Records Administration, NARA. The official NARA Presidential Library System was established in 1939, beginning with President Franklin D. Roosevelt's library. The official NARA Presidential Library System was established in 1939, beginning with President D. Roosevelt's library. The system was created so the government could take custody of presidential papers and administer the libraries as part of the National Archives. Since William McKinley served in the late 1800s, early 1900s, well before the system was put into place, his museum was established outside of federal framework. The McKinley Museum is owned and operated by Stark County Historical Society. It receives no government funding for its daily operation and relies on private donations, memberships, and an endowment to function. Unlike NARA operated presidential libraries, which focus solely on the president's life, administration, associated historical records, the McKinley Museum has a broader focus. It also includes a science center, planetarium, and exhibits on general Stark County history, making it a local education center rather than a purely presidential one. Libraries for presidents prior to Herbert Hoover, except for Lincoln, who has state-operated library, has generally not part of that NARA system and are run by various private foundations, historical societies, and state governments. President Theodore Roosevelt did not contribute financially to the William McKinley Presidential Library and Museum itself, as the library was built much later, opening in 1963. However, Roosevelt was significantly involved in the creation and dedication adjacent the McKinley National Memorial, which is the final resting place of William McKinley and his family. So there you go. This is not a national presidential museum. Look at this little guy walking around in the park. I mean, it's a beautiful day. If anybody likes the colors of the park, but there's the memorial there, and the museum's back there. Where you going, guy? He's just running away. But I wanted to show you this. I thought it was pretty cool. I think it's for that pond that was um, for the monument. I think this is where the overspill was, and it would come out. I mean, it's pretty cool. You can tell it's old. Take a walk up here. Watch our steps. A lot of leaves on the ground. That's where people, they run and hike. I mean, this is a nice big park during the daytime. These are old. One of them got pulled out. This is really something to come check out if you're ever in Canton, Ohio. I mean, the park goes on for a ways. Wintertime, I think they put Christmas lights all the way down it. It goes a while. Love these trees turning. If anybody's in the fall, some trees are already gone. Yeah, I just love these when the trees. This is more of the park. And people out riding their motorcycles. Hopefully you didn't hear all that music. And there's a lot of ducks over there.